The Girl Who Waited Beneath the Old Oak Tree. A bedtime story about love, time, and promises. There is an old saying, some people leave our lives in a single day, while others never truly leave, even after a lifetime. Tonight's story is about a promise. Not a grand promise made before a crowd, just a few quiet words spoken by two children beneath an old oak tree. And yet, those words changed two lives forever. Many years ago, in a peaceful village surrounded by rolling hills and golden wheat fields, lived a little girl named Elara. She wasn't the prettiest girl in the village, nor the richest, but everyone remembered her smile. It was the kind of smile that made people feel safe. Whenever someone cried, Elara would sit beside them without saying a word. Sometimes, silence can comfort people more than 1,000 sentences.
Across the narrow dirt road lived a boy named Adrian. He was curious about everything. He wanted to know why birds migrated, why the stars appeared one by one, why flowers bloomed after long winters. The two children became inseparable. Every afternoon, after finishing their chores, they ran to the giant oak tree standing on the edge of the village. It was older than anyone could remember. The villagers often joked that the tree had watched more love stories than all the storytellers combined. For Elara and Adrian, that tree became their entire world. They carved tiny wooden toys, counted clouds, dreamed about the future. Sometimes they imagined traveling the world together. Other times they simply lay beneath the branches, listening to the wind. Years passed. Children became teenagers. The dreams they once shared slowly began to change. Adrian wanted to become a doctor. He couldn't bear watching sick people suffer when no one could help them. Elara admired him for that. She believed kindness was the greatest talent anyone could possess. One evening, as the sun painted the sky orange and gold, Adrian stood beneath the oak tree with tears in his eyes. "I've been accepted into the medical academy in the city." Elara smiled. It was a beautiful smile. But behind it was the quiet sadness only people deeply in love understand. "When will you leave?" she asked softly. "Tomorrow." Silence settled between them. Finally, Adrian took a small white flower from the ground and placed it in her hand. "When the spring flowers bloom again, I'll come home." Elara closed her fingers around the flower. "I'll be waiting." That was all. No dramatic goodbye, no long embrace. Just two hearts believing that time would be kind. The first spring arrived. Every afternoon, Elara walked to the oak tree, carrying a fresh white flower. She waited until sunset. People passing by would ask, "Is he coming today?" She smiled. "Maybe tomorrow." The second spring came. Then the third. Letters never arrived. Visitors brought no news. Still,
Every spring, another white flower rested beneath the oak tree. Many young men asked Elara to marry them. Some were kind. Some were wealthy. Some promised to give her everything she could ever want. She thanked each of them, but her answer never changed. My heart is already keeping a promise. The villagers pitied her. Some whispered she was wasting her life. Others believed Adrian had forgotten her long ago. Elara never argued. Real love rarely needs to defend itself. Far away in the city, Adrian worked harder than he had ever imagined. Medical school became endless nights. Hospitals became his second home. He watched children survive impossible illnesses. He held frightened hands. He comforted grieving families. And every month, without fail, he wrote a letter. Each letter began the same way. Dear Elara. He described the city, the rain, the patience, the little moments that reminded him of home. He always ended the same way. I haven't forgotten my promise. He believed she had read every word. But fate had written another story. Months after Adrian left, a violent flood destroyed the only bridge connecting the village to the outside world. Mail stopped arriving. The old post office stored every undelivered letter inside dusty wooden crates. Years turned into decades. The forgotten letters waited in darkness, just as patiently as Elara waited beneath the oak tree. Time touched everyone. Children became parents. Parents became grandparents. The village changed. New houses appeared. Old faces disappeared. Only two things seemed unchanged: the ancient oak tree and Elara's evening walks. Her hair slowly turned silver. Wrinkles appeared around the smile she never lost. Children loved visiting her. She told them stories beneath the tree, fed birds from her hands, taught them that kindness always returns, even if it takes years. One little girl often visited. Her name was Lily. One afternoon she asked, "Grandmother Elara, were you ever lonely?" Elara looked toward the distant hills. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she answered, "Loneliness isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of hope. As long as you still hope, you're never truly alone." Lily never forgot those words. Winter came unusually early that year. Snow covered the village in white silence. Elara felt tired. She knew her journey was almost over. One final afternoon, she walked, slowly, to the oak tree. She carried the same white flower she had carried every spring for nearly 50 years. She placed it gently at the roots, closed her eyes, and whispered, "I kept my promise." When the villagers found her the next morning, she looked peaceful, almost as if she had simply fallen asleep while watching the sunrise. They buried her beneath the oak tree she had loved since childhood. The entire village came. Even people who had once laughed at her waiting wiped tears from their faces. Because deep inside, everyone wished someone would love them with that much patience. Only weeks later, workers repairing the abandoned post office made an astonishing discovery. Hundreds of unopened letters. Every single envelope carried the same name: Elara. The villagers gathered beneath the oak tree. One by one, they opened the letters. Some were faded. Some were stained with age. Some still smelled faintly of old paper. Each one told the story of a man who never forgot. He wrote about every patient he saved, every lonely birthday, every spring he missed home, every dream of returning. The final letter was different. Its handwriting trembled with age. It read, "Dear Elara, if these letters ever find you, then perhaps time has finally shown mercy. I returned to the village many years ago. They told me you had already gone. I sat beneath our oak tree until sunset, just as we used to. I realized then you had kept your promise far longer than I deserved. People often thanked me for saving their lives, but they never knew the reason I became the man I was. It was because a little girl once believed I could become someone worth waiting for. If love survives anywhere beyond this world, I'll look for the oak tree again. And this time, I won't be late. Forever yours, Adrian." When the final words were read aloud, no one spoke. Even the wind seemed to fall silent. Many of the villagers cried openly, not because two people had been separated, but because they had loved each other so completely, without anger, without blame, without ever stopping. Years passed once more. Lily grew into an old woman herself. Every spring, she carried a single white flower to the oak tree. Children would ask, "Why do you always bring flowers here?" She smiled. Because some promises should never be forgotten. Today, the old oak tree still stands. People say it blossoms earlier than every other tree in the valley. Perhaps it's only nature. Or perhaps, somewhere beyond the reach of time, two old friends finally met again beneath its endless shade. And if there is one lesson this story leaves behind, it is this. Love is not measured by how long two people are together. It is measured by how faithfully they carry each other in their hearts. Some promises are never broken. They are simply completed in another lifetime. Good night.